How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. Well, it's Wednesday on the show. We're going to try and have fun here on the show today. It is my last Observer Live for a few days because tomorrow morning I am heading to Las Vegas for the AW Double or Nothing show. So Sempervive is going to be on his own Thursday and Friday this week. And I fly back Monday, no show Monday for the holiday. And then we'll be back in action on Tuesday. But fear not, we will have many, many shows only for subscribers to WrestlingObserver.com, including the live Q&A with myself and Dave Meltzer, which is coming up on Saturday, and a lot of other fun things as well. We'll tell you about that here in a bit. But obviously, the Double or Nothing show is coming up, so tonight is the Go Home Dynamite for that show. We have got a bunch of matches announced, 8 segments announced thus far, so we'll go over those on the program here today. And we'll also talk about the interview that Tony Khan did talking about Warner and Discovery. He was asked about the relationship on the Richard Deitch podcast, and we'll tell you what he said about it, because obviously that's something everybody's been talking about. So we'll tell you about that, plus Kurt Angle and his recent surgery. WWE is looking for somebody to replace Stephanie McMahon, who has taken a leave of absence. We'll tell you about that today. Raw ratings from Monday night. And yes, we will talk NXT 2.0, everybody's favorite show if you're over the age of 63. So we'll give you a quick rundown of that, tell you what happened there leading to their big show as well, which is not a special Tuesday night edition of the show. This one's actually on Peacock. Yeah. Anyway, back in a moment with more Observer Live. In the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. A lot of stuff coming up over the next couple of days. Mike's going to be doing Observer Live next few days. Right, Mike? You're just hearing about this for the first time.
I just found that out.
Yeah, well, I got to leave tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to be gone Friday, obviously, and...
Oh, my God. Like, you didn't know that before today? On air?
I mean, I thought it would be patently obvious that you'd be doing those days. I mean, did I have to explain that to you? But regardless, there's going to be a lot going on, and I always plug the subscription area at WrestlingObserver.com. And what a day, because today we are doing a one-day-only $3.99 sale for the website. You can get a full month of F4WOnline.com, WrestlingObserver.com for just $3.99. I'm tweeting out the link right now, and I want to mention, by the way, that not only do you get all of the shows like when they occur, but the entire archive of everything is available on the site. We started doing podcasts in 2005. It's now 2022. So there's over 13,000 podcasts in the archives, every show we've ever done. Somebody the other day was like, oh, man, I'm watching all these 2007 shows. And so they go back and listen to our audio from 2007 of those shows. So the archives, I mean, we got more stuff than the WWE Network. I mean, an impossible amount of stuff. And the Observers as well. Now, I bring that up because people have been asking about the archives. And if you go to WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com after signing up, and you go to the menu there, and it says Newsletters, and right there at the top, there's the Newsletter Archive, okay? Now, if you go to Podcasts, there is no link, all right? And we've been trying to get the link up, and it's going to be up soon, but it's not up right now. So until it is up, all you have to do is remember archive.f4wonline.com. That's it. If you type in archive.f4wonline.com and you're a subscriber, you can basically go up and search all of the archives by year, by show, et cetera, et cetera. So for those of you that have been asking for that, I actually just recently learned that that is available. Archive.f4wonline.com. And the link is going to be up on the podcast's page soon. So soon you'll just have to push the button. But now you can just type it in archive.f4wonline.com. But like I said, 13,000 shows, well over 1,000 editions of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, new observers every week, new podcasts every day. There's just so much stuff, and yes, people are mentioning the Christmas show you get. You know, if you sign up right now for $3.99, you can listen to what would it be?
Tom throwing up?
17 Christmas shows in the archives, including the one where Filthy Tom Lawler, vomited all over my couch. That was a fun day. So, yeah, you can go up and listen to everything, and you can go up and read everything, and you can get access to the board, and you can get access to the podcasts, and all that stuff. And it's only $3.99. Today only. Even though it says double or nothing, that's the pay-per-view, it's today only. 1 month for $3.99. So head up there and sign up while you can, bras, because you're going to regret it if you don't. We've got a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. By the way, you will get the live Q&A with myself and Dave from Las Vegas. That's part of your subscription as well. And you only get it as a subscriber. So anyway, sign up.
Are any tickets available for that show live?
No idea.
I thought you just wander the wilderness of your empire like a completely, like it's
I got a lot of stuff to
day.
do, buddy. I got a lot of stuff to do. What
Does any of it have to do with keeping control of what is taking place in your empire?
At 4wonline.com/Vegas. Let's see. Silver Q&A sold out. It looks like you could still get a standing room general admission ticket for the Q&A, but I think all the seats are gone. But if you want to stand there and listen to us talk, have I got the ticket for you? And no more tickets available for Texas Day Brazil. So
yeah,
that's the one you missed out on. Let me tell you. You can basically get a live Q&A with me and Dave and eat steak. What could be better than that?
Is the dinner really the secret weapon of all of these?
It is to me.
People talk about the suite. People talk about meeting, people at Ed's wrestling show, the Q&A, all that sort of stuff. It seems like dinner is the prime thing that you got going on.
Bro, it's all you can eat steak. What do you want out of me? Of course, that's the big draw. All right, let's talk about a little bit of the news because there is news today. Kurt Angle underwent double knee surgery 53-year-old posted a video from the hospital to thank everybody for their well wishes. This is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, he begins. And I am in the hospital right now because I just had knee replacements done this morning. Feeling pretty good right now, but my legs are numb because of the epidural. I know I have a long road ahead of me, and I'm willing to work very hard to get back to where I was before. Want to thank all of you for all the support, your wishes, and prayers for my surgery. I appreciate it. God bless you all. He won't be walking for a while. Walker and or wheelchair. But 2 new knees. So good for him.
Yeah, my uncle got this done not all that long ago, and it's one of those things where you can get one knee done at one time and then wait and get the other one done, but then you got to deal with that rehab. It's almost better to get them both done at the same time if you can. It is a long and painful recovery, so the best to Kurt Angle there, but better that it's the knees than a lot of other things when it comes to Kurt Angle. He's had so many neck issues, back issues, all that sort of stuff. So this is going to be small potatoes for your Olympic champion.
Hey, I'm going to go over the Dynamite lineup here. You disconnect and reconnect because according to the chat, you sound very tinny. Like the Tin Man, coincidentally. All right, Wednesday's edition of AEW Dynamite will take place from the Michelob Ultra Arena. Is that spelled right here? Anyway, here's the lineup for the show tonight. FTR versus Roppongi Vice for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. Samoa Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly in the Owen Hart tournament, which should be an awesome match. As, by the way, should FTR and Roppongi Vice. Britt Baker, Tony Storm in a semifinal match for the tournament. Wardlow, Shawn Spears in the cage with MJF as the referee, so you know something's happening there. Jungle Boy, Swerve, and Ricky Starks in a 3-way, which also should be excellent. CM Punk and Hangman Page will have a confrontation. And yes, Tony Schiavone will interview Thunder Rosa in advance of her match coming up on Sunday's pay-per-view. So that's the lineup for the show here tonight. And Tony Khan did an interview today, and he noted that top executives from Warner Brothers and Discovery will be attending the June 1 edition of Dynamite from the Forum. He was on the Richard Deitch podcast, mentioned that not only will representatives from Warner Brothers Discovery be attending the show, but they will be throwing a party for AEW in the Forum afterwards. He says, I'm very excited because we're at the Forum next week. I'm really just honored. It's a great privilege for us because a lot of the top executives from Warner Brothers Discovery are going to be at the Forum. It means a lot to me personally to be in the Forum to begin with, but I can't tell you what it means that a lot of the top executives from Warner Brothers Discovery are not only coming to the show, but they are throwing a great event for us afterwards in the Forum. Just to have their presence to begin with means so much that they would come to the show, but also a lot of the top executives in the Warner Brothers Discovery family are going to have an event with us with a lot of people in AEW. We're going to hang out. That means the world to us and getting to know each other better. So obviously that's the big question. A lot of changes since AEW first signed their deal. And obviously in, I think, the end of this year, early next year, they're going to start negotiating for a new deal. And the likelihood of them being canceled is low. They're regularly a top 5 show on TNT and TBS. But what this company needs is a increase in their television deal. If they can get a large increase in their TV deal, then you can keep signing people, you can continue to grow. It's not like you can't grow without a better TV deal, but, I mean, you've got, and I know people are sick of hearing about it, but you've got MJF, and he ain't the only one who is going to weigh his options in 2024, and you're either going to have the money for it, or you're not. And the money's going to come from this television deal. So, all the best to AEW.
They absolutely need the money and an increase, but they also need a friend. And it sounds cornball to say, but look at the relationship that WWE had with Bonnie Hammer at USA and then NBC. That's what they're going to have to come out of this with. Even more than an increase are some people that they can deal with, that they can get in bed with, and have long-term relationships with Warner.
Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Did I mention we got a special today? $3.99 for a full month of WrestlingObserver.com. Every podcast, every newsletter, all of the archives, thousands of shows. Check out my Twitter at Bryan Alvarez. Today only, by the way. Don't miss out. We watching Double or Nothing and go, man, if only I could listen to the post-show. Oh, I can't. I didn't take advantage of the $3.99 offer. I was such a fool. Well, you don't have to be a fool.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to be. You can just... Bro, it's $3.99. I didn't even raise the price for inflation. $3.99. So don't be a fool. Hey, WWE has posted a job listing for a director of brand and marketing, handling some of Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon's duties while she is on a leave of absence. They're looking for a new full-time employee to, quote, be an important contributor to the growth and success of the WWE Premium Live Events, WWE Linear Programming, and the WWE brand. What a vague request. We need someone that we're going to pay. You're going to do some stuff.
It's basically how you hired us.
You're just going to be an important contributor to what we do.
Sell you hope, baby.
Stephanie has held her title of CBO since 2013. Announced on Twitter last week she was taking a leave of absence to focus on her family.
Where did they post this? Is this on Indeed, or do they actually go to, like, the ladders for a job like this? Or does everybody just have a shot at this anywhere? You can go to, like, you know, whatever, careerbuilder.com, and there it is. Do you want a job with WWE replacing Stephanie McMahon? Here's your shot.
Workday. That's what it's called.
Workday.
Yeah. Did you guys see some of the folks that were comparing Stephanie taking leave of absence to Sasha and Naomi walking out and wondering why people weren't outraged about Stephanie? Did you guys see that?
Well, some people are idiots.
Yeah. That was quite the thing I read. So anyway, what I've gotten out of this is that they've announced it's a leave of absence and that she will ultimately return. But if you recall, when she announced that she was leaving, what they were going to do was have other people do her duties in the meantime. Well, now they're hiring somebody. So what that tells me is it seems that she is not likely going to be back imminently. This seems to be more of an extended leave of absence. That is my speculation, because I have to mention speculation because people write all these stories. Stephanie is never coming back. I didn't say that at all. I said I speculate that because they're hiring someone, she's probably not back imminently. Wouldn't that be a logical thing to think? I think so.
It would. It would.
Yes. Raw on Monday, 1.73 million viewers and a .41 in 18 to 49. So the big story, we talk about these ratings, we're like, there is actually a story of these ratings. And that is that for the last several weeks, at the beginning of the show, they put up the Cody clock. Cody will be here in 1 hour and 49 minutes and 17 seconds. And the last couple of weeks, the Cody clock has worked. People have stuck around to see Cody. Well, this week, the Cody clock didn't work. The quarterly hours, 1.85 million first hour. This would be the hourly numbers. 1.85 million first hour, 1.82 million second hour, so basically identical. And that third hour dropped to 1.53 million viewers. So that was a big drop there in the third hour. And I know that people like to interpret things the way they want, but I'm not blaming Cody, all right? This is what always happens in the third hour, and they managed to prevent it for 2 weeks with Cody. This week, it did not work. Now, I mean, my thought, and I'm not even blaming The Miz, okay? Even though it's going to sound like I'm blaming The Miz, and perhaps I have a history. But, bro, we've seen the match with The Miz. We saw the match with The Miz with a finish. There's literally no reason to stick around to see the same match that we've already seen. So I'm not going to blame anyone in particular. But, I mean, the Cody clock is all fine and good. But when the Cody clock is building something up that we've already seen and nobody cares about because we know the outcome, no, it's probably not going to work. And it did not work this week. And so we'll see what they do this coming Monday because, you know, when things work, they just kind of do them forever. And when they don't work, sometimes they still keep doing them forever. Because if it worked once, it can work again. Right? Right.
Other than Roman Reigns, what could they put in that last segment that's going to keep people
Nothing.
around?
Even Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They did a show a while ago where Roman Reigns and the Usos were on Raw in the main event segment at the end of the show, and it still didn't do any good. Yeah. The show's 3 hours long, and nobody is going to sit through 3 hours of a show.
That's it. And it's not hot, and there's not anything going on that's driving people to it where it's, hey, we got to stick around or we got to tune back in and see what we're missing. It's a show where you can tune back in tomorrow to see what you missed. It's the easiest show in the world to DVR. Hear what people are talking about, see the little clips that WWE puts out there on their social media and on their website, the concise little thing where you can get through anything that really actually mattered on Raw in about, 20 minutes tops, watching those little video packages. And if you miss something that you find out is hot, then you can go back and watch it. But that's the problem is there's nothing that's driving people to even – there's no buzz at all, unfortunately. And then, again, a lot of that has to do with the fact that they don't have a whole lot of stars that you want to put eyes on. I mean, I love watching Kevin Owens. I like Seth Rollins, even with his goofy character. I like Cody Rhodes. But, with any of those guys, what's hot? What is going to happen? What is the big thing going on that's going to drive me back to watch? And even if they trot Brock Lesnar back out there, that's still only going to be a quick fix for maybe a week or two before people realize that, okay, again, what do you got? And it doesn't seem like he's on the horizon. It's hard for me to believe he's not going to be with Roman being out, but it doesn't feel like there's any buzz of him even possibly coming back right now.
This person here says, wasn't that a segment where Roman said he was putting an announcement off until Friday? Well, yeah, but no one knew that when they waited around to see Roman. Literally, What they advertised, it was after Roman had unified the titles, and they advertised that Roman Reigns is going to come out on the show, and he is going to tell us what's next. They didn't advertise Roman's going to come out and tell us to wait until Friday. They said Roman will come out tonight and tell us, and it didn't help. It didn't matter. And yes, once he was out there, then he announced, well, I'll tell you Friday. Which it's one of those things where WWE, I don't know what the word would be. Some would say working. Some would use another term. But they clearly want to trick you. They want you to stick around. Well, no, they want you to stick around. And then, once you stick around, you aren't necessarily going to get what was promised. And, I think, and obviously this is the case, they feel that you'll just keep falling for it. But the reality is, I think we've seen from some of the falling numbers that, like, a lot of people don't fall for it anymore. You advertise this or that, and, maybe they'll record it instead of waiting around for it and then watch it later if they find it had actually happened. But, I mean, how many times can you tell people that you're going to do something and not do it? And they do it all the time. But in Vince's mind, as we learned from the Sasha and Naomi situation, if Vince comes up with an idea for next week and he changes his mind, all's fair. He didn't deliver it, but it's because he changed his mind. If he books something for next week and you walk out, you let down the entire universe. You let down millions of people because, he didn't change his mind. You walked out. So you let down the universe. If he books it and he changes his mind, well, he didn't let down the universe. He just changed his mind. Because he's a hypocrite. Sometimes I think... Well, anyway. Let's get back about NXT 2.0 after the break. But...
do we have to?
Dude, there was some... I got a question.
Do you like Tiffany Stratton's wearing her choice of footwear now?
I didn't even notice her footwear.
Wrestling boots are out, and she's got a pair of dock shoes on or something.
Dude,
like
everybody just wears tennis shoes nowadays.
These weren't even tennis shoes. These were like those little. I don't know. They were I don't know what they were. Little canvas, under the ankle type of shoes. Just
who cares? Whatever. Matt Riddle wears no shoes.
Sometimes I know I'm crazy. I still think sometimes I'm watching professional wrestling. And I know that's a stupid thing when I'm watching almost any of these shows, including AEW sometimes. But, sometimes it's just, I forget what I'm watching.
I have never once watched NXT and forgot what I was watching. I know exactly what I'm watching every time. I'm watching a
When you choose
developmental
balls.
program, a developmental sports entertainment program with people pretending to wrestle up and down the show.
See,
And you know what?
pretending.
Some of it's fine. Like I had a buddy of mine text me last night, and he just thought that Stacks and Two Dimes were just like absolute bottom of the barrel horrific. And I thought the match was fine. I mean, it wasn't like you're not going to compare it to anything that's going to be on AEW tonight. But like for four guys that are all green, that probably rehearsed the match for 2 weeks. I mean, they didn't botch spots. I mean, it wasn't like I've seen in fact, I saw worse matches on the show.
It would have been
actually.
one of the better matches, I guess, on your local low-level indie. Yes,
I don't know if I'd say that, but it'd be a match on your low-level indie. But we'll talk about the whole show after the break. And yes, the show was rife with advertised matches that didn't take place. And at least they acknowledged it, and they put the blame on injuries. And what I can tell you is everyone's hurt in NXT, which is a story for another day. I mean, the way that they train folks, I mean, you're surprised.
We've danced this dance before.
Everyone's regularly getting hurt. But anyway, back in a moment, Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. It is time for the NXT 2.0 report. And if you hear this and you think, man, I miss the days of NXT 1.0 and those great takeovers, I wonder what Bryan had to say about those. Well, it's your lucky day. For just $3.99, you can subscribe to WrestlingObserver.com, and you can go back in the archives and you can relive the glory days of NXT. All of the post-takeover audio shows we've done, it's all up there. WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com, archive.f4wonline.com. $3.99 for a month, unlimited. You know what unlimited means? It's like going to a Brazilian steakhouse and all you can eat. That's exactly what this is. This is all you can eat F4W, $3.99. It's very easy. Just go to WrestlingObserver.com. It's right on the front page. Sign up now. Today's the only day. Don't mess this up. Don't disappoint me and the millions of fans listening right now. So anyway, it opened up with Stacks and Two Dimes, who we have learned their actual names are Troy Two Dimes Donovan and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. What a bunch of names.
Channing Stacks Lorenzo
was his name. They wrestled Edris Enofe and Malik Blade. And I don't know how many matches Stacks and Two Dimes have had. I tried to find out last night, and I can't find any information. Does anyone know anything about these two guys? But, they were not the greenest two guys in the ring. I think it was Malik Blade. He made a comeback and fell off the ropes. But anyway, all things considered, this was better than I expected. I thought this was a totally passable match. Am I wrong? Thought it was all right.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
So, El Hijo del Fantasma ran in, and there's like a bunch of stuff that happened. And anyway, Two Dimes got the win, and then a big brawl broke out. And they're apparently at the show, they're gonna have one last dinner or something like that. So they're gonna eat on pay-per-view. That's weird. That's what they said.
Not what they meant.
Then we had another one of my favorites in NXT 2.0, Sanga. I like this guy. He faced Wes Lee, and somebody watched AEW, and they saw Keith Lee do that giant Beal, the very first move he did when he debuted. And Tony Khan talked about how the moment that Keith Lee was released, all he could think about was that spot. And so he hired the guy. Well, they decided to see if they could recreate it. And, bro, Sanga threw Wes Lee so high and so far. I can't, and it certainly wasn't better because you had so many people watching Keith Lee do it and they just lost their minds. But it was a pretty impressive throw. And he beat the heck out of this guy. Wes Lee got a quick comeback. He got killed with the choke slam. And then, if you recall, the whole storyline was Sanga was trying to put over Wes Lee, and Wes Lee was being a jerk about it because they don't know how to book baby faces. I don't think you're aware of this. And so, Wes Lee challenged him to a match. And then, of course, the babyface makes a challenge and gets killed. And then afterwards, Zion Quinn, who's constantly medically unfit to wrestle, he actually was on the show this week. And he goes after Wes Lee afterwards. But Sanga made the save. Sanga's the best babyface they've got on this whole brand. Then we had a Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez segment. My God. What is their gimmick?
Their gimmick is
people. Their gimmick is they're horrible pranksters that do terrible things. And they're bringing
they're
up
not the greatest actresses either.
They're bringing up some indie match where they did something horrible. I'm like, they're mentioning an indie match from Texas, and then I'm like Googling their opponent. I'm like, what is happening? But anyway, they do horrible things to people, and they're baby faces because it's NXT.
Too much verbiage for these people. Way too much for them to remember and pull off convincingly.
Then we had a bunch of segments with Braun Breaker. Joe Gacy's fighting all this personal stuff, like clips of him, running touchdowns in college.
Is him and his brothers in bed with dad? Like, this is 20 years old. How did he
And
he
so
get this?
The story is that Braun Breaker, he didn't get to see his dad enough growing up, and he's got, issues with that. And so Joe Gacy's pushing his buttons. And we'll get to it, but this sucks.
Braun Breaker
Sucks.
has daddy issues. That's exactly what I wanted out of Rick Steiner's kid. That's exactly
Hey, you
what
know
I was
what?
hoping for.
That is
daddy
the
issues.
exact wording they used. Daddy issues. That's
Daddy
what they
issues.
said. Yeah. Elbow Fire beat Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez is not ready for television. So that's just all there is to it. And Elbow Fire won. She should do like a flying elbow drop. You know what I'm saying?
Light it on fire?
The Elbow Fire drop.
Oh, man, yeah, just spark it up and deliver it. Yeah, that's what everybody seems to be doing that with kicks now. They like to light their kick pad on fire and kick somebody. Maybe that's what they can do. Drop the elbow of fire on them.
So then we had Damon Kemp announcing that the match they had scheduled tonight is not taking place. They announced this on the show. Roderick Strong, they claim, is injured, and so the match is off. But
You were wrong.
they didn't say that millions had been let down in this case.
You were wrong earlier on when you said Sangha is the best babyface on that roster. Wrong! The Creed brothers, the best babyfaces on
They're
that
good
roster.
baby faces, but not like Sangha. The Creed brothers come off as like gimmick baby faces, but this Sangha has a legitimate sincerity about him, the way that he is able to carry himself.
The way he caressed Wesley's arm as he
Well,
helped him
you
back
know.
up again and fought off dude. Like, really?
He helped the guy.
Well,
Then they announced another one. Nikita Lyons is out of the tournament due to injury. She also did not let anyone down. They also waited until the middle of the show to announce it. And so they announced that Fallon Henley, okay, she's the one that hangs out with the Virgin and his friend. She's the cowgirl. And she's getting a bye to the finals. So then Daddy's girl shows up. And she says, well, of course you're just going to take the bye. You didn't earn that. And, dude, Fallon Henley, I'm not kidding. She cut a promo on Tiffany Stratton. That was the best promo on the show by miles. And Tiffany Stratton just slinks off. It was actually really good. And then
I'm putting $1 up right now. We're going to be seeing Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley on the main roster facing off at some point. That's why I will bet at some point.
Then we had, Fallon Henley's going to be a main roster star. And Tiffany Stratton. I mean,
Yes.
without question. I mean, they're without question. Don't even start it, everybody. Just trust me on this one. Then we had Roxanne Perez, the former Roxy, against Lash Legend. And listen, don't write a damn story about this because I'm not reporting this, okay? It's what I thought watching it as a fan. I think that it was supposed to be Nikita Lyons and Lash Legend in the finals. Again. Well, Nikita Lyons is out of the tournament. So Roxanne Perez in this match beat Lash Legend. I don't know if this is what happened, okay? But I looked at Lash Legend's face, and I came to the conclusion that she was supposed to go to the finals of this tournament, and with Nikita Lyons out, they just changed everything, and now Roxanne beat her in this match because she didn't look happy.
You're saying she
And
was boo-boo facing.
I kind of felt that way. I could be totally wrong, but Roxanne pinned her. Roxanne now moves on to the finals, and that's it for Lash Legend in the tournament. Match was not all that great, and Roxanne Perez is great, so you can read into that what you will.
She just doesn't have the experience level yet to carry somebody like Lash Legend, who's got so much inexperience, which is not a criticism at all of Roxy. How old is this woman? 19, 20 years old, whatever she is. She is a phenom, an absolute phenom who's only going to get better. I don't know if her future is as bright as, say, Tiffany Stratton's in WWE, even with all of her skills, but she's going to be in pro wrestling a long time and only get better.
We had Mandy Rose and Indy Hartwell. Holy smokes. Well, they had a match, and Mandy Rose won with the jumping knee after everybody ran down to... it's a non-title match, and she just beats Indy Hartwell. So then we get to what you've all been waiting for. Toxic Attraction is beating down Indy Hartwell. And Katana Chance and Caden Carter come down. And, of course, Katana Chance is the former Casey Catanzaro. But they changed her name, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now that they've changed her name, they're referencing her past on American Ninja Warrior. I'm like, of course you are. So someone's listening to this going, oh my God, Katana Chance was on American Ninja Warrior, and they Google it, they could find nothing. So they presume that they just made this up. But anyway, so they're doing all this, and then, Jane and Dolan beat them up, and then they're leaving up the ramp, and Wendy Chu. Dom, I'm not trying to get in trouble, okay? If you have to beep this, go for it. But I'm just telling you I'm telling you factually what happened. Wendy Chu shows up with a pillowcase filled with balls, like basketballs, and she drops the balls all over Mandy Rose, which, by the way, Mandy Rose sells. She starts screaming. Balls fell on her. And literally, they go backstage, and there's a segment where they're setting up matches for the pay-per-view. And Wendy Chu notes that she wants a championship match because she dropped her sack of balls all over Mandy's face. That's what she said. So at the pay-per-view, it is going to be Mandy Rose versus Wendy Chu's in her ball sack. And then, the American Ninja Warrior, who's not, and her partner against Toxic Attraction for the tag team titles. That actually happened exactly as I explained it. Then we have another stupid Braun Breaker segment. This I'll get to in a minute. Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. So Tiffany Stratton's a replacement. Fallon Henley was in the tournament until this point. And then Tiffany Stratton just works over the knee and then pins her with her move. That's the end of Fallon Henley. She's out of here. So, in fact, in the finals, it is Daddy's Girl against Roxy. Finals of the Breakout Tournament.
Which, I mean, honestly...
it'll be fine. It'll probably be a good match because Tiffany Stratton, she's had no matches, but, she's fine, okay? She's not, good, but, you can do a match with her, and she does not look like she's totally lost or out to lunch. She's got a lot of poise. She's got a long ways to go, but I think this final will be fine. I
know everyone, for a variety of reasons, wanted Lash Legend and Nikita Lyons for, again, a variety of reasons, whatever it is. But as far as, who the future, the breakout is going to be, it makes a lot more sense to have Roxy and have Tiffany Stratton in there than Lash and Nikita. I feel that way.
All right, let me get through this. So we have Von Wagner beating Ikemen Jiro, and then Sophia Cromwell wants him to beat up Jiro again, but Jeff Briggs, the non-virgin of the group, makes the save. So we'll get Briggs versus Wagner down the road. And then, the main event of the show was Duke Hudson versus Braun Breaker. And it's simple, basic, stupid booking. The storyline is... Braun Breaker beat Joe Gacy on the last show clean in the middle of the ring. For some reason, Joe Gacy has signed himself to a rematch where if Braun Breaker loses via DQ, he loses the title. So they do a match here, and Braun Breaker, Joe Gacy throws a chair to the ring. Braun Breaker gets mad and uses it. He gets disqualified. And so now they're teasing if that happens at the pay-per-view, he'll lose the title to Joe Gacy. Nobody cared about this. The crowd is dead silent. Spooky stuff and mind games dies every time. It sucks! I got one more thing after the break. Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. So anyway, next week on the show, they've got a championship summit with Toxic Attraction, Katana Chance, and Caden Carter. We've got Cameron Grimes versus Nathan Frazier for the North American title, which, unless something goes wrong, that match is going to be awesome. Cora Jade versus Elektra Lopez. And they have also announced, they did a video package with the Thea Hale. You guys know who Thea Hale is? Well, she's the one that she's graduating high school today.
Yeesh.
Yeah. And, of course, you know, she's the biggest baby face on the show to the guys in the audience, if you listen.
Ew.
Well, anyway, she's going to college, but she's been signed by WWE. She's so happy they're going to allow her to train while she's going to school. And literally, they announced that next week she's going to be on NXT 2.0 to tell you what school she will be attending. I think it's pretty easy to figure out what they're doing here. She's going to be in Chase University. Right? Why would she come on TV to announce that she's going to go to an actual college for the next 4 years?
Unless it's Full Sail.
It has to be Chase University, right?
Yes, I would hope so. Otherwise, then it would probably be weird. Does Joe Gacy
Well, it's already weird.
Does Joe Gacy, well, yeah, that's true, but does Joe Gacy have a school for wizards? I mean, what are the other options she has there? Hanging out with Saray? I mean, maybe they can both enroll in Chase U.
They teased it like she's going to come out and say she's going to Stanford.
Stanford. No M.
No, she's going to Stanford, Mike.
Oh.
Not Stanford.
Got it.
Well, you idiots get out of here. Hey, I'm going to Vegas, and you're not, Mike.
I'm not.
And I'm laughing.
Good. Me too.
All right, we'll see you next time, everybody. Wrestling Observer Live. Sign up today.